The final episode of Dragon Ball Daima, episode 20, is here, and it has to be one of the biggest troll endings of a show I've ever seen, but man does it work so well. The episode starts with the beginning of the final round between Supreme Demon King Gomah and Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Animation-wise, this fight is pure eye candy. We've seen nothing but great animation throughout this entire series, but they really went all out for the finale. Now, from my perspective watching this fight, it really looked to me like as long as Goku was in Super Saiyan 4, he was way stronger than Gomah. The problem for Goku, though, is that the evil third eye grants Gomah invincibility, so no matter how much damage he inflicts on the Supreme Demon King, he's gonna get healed right away. And while this fight is definitely a lot of fun to watch, it can feel a little repetitive at times because every single time Goku lands a big heavy hit on Gomah, he heals up and then they just keep fighting. I can't help but feel that Gomah is kind of like a fusion of Emperor Pilaf and Garlic Jr. Pilaf was a pretty comical character. I never really took him too seriously as a villain, though he did manage to capture Goku and his friends towards the end of the first arc of the OG Dragon Ball. Now take the silly Pilaf and combine him with the big hulking transformation, ruthlessness, and immortality of Garlic Jr. It works perfectly. Anyway, while Goku and Gomah wail on each other, Piccolo is sneaking around, waiting for the perfect opportunity to go in and strike Gomah in the back of the head 3 times so he can knock the evil eye right out of his skull. And while Piccolo's doing that, Aransu wants to get the Big Book of Magic again from Ku and look to see if she can find another spell that might help them take Gomah down. But he won't have to wait long because Goku manages to launch a massive Kamehameha that blows a hole right through Gomah and even pierces through all of the different worlds of the demon realm. You know that big tunnel that Neva had originally sealed off with magic and then undid the seal for when they needed to go down to the first demon world? Goku basically made another one for them. You know, has anybody in this show ever stopped to think that if they unleash an attack that big, that there might be some innocent people that get caught up in it? How does Goku know that he didn't possibly destroy a little Majin school in the third demon world or something like that? Well, Gomah now is feeling all empty inside because he has a giant hole through his torso, which allows Piccolo the chance to go in and finish the job. Unfortunately, Piccolo's only able to hit him twice because Gomah's flailing around a bit and his arm knocks Piccolo out of the way. Gomah instantly figures out what their plan is and utilizes the third eye's magic to try to quickly heal himself back up. Once he's back to full health, he powers up yet again with Goku looking exhausted and trying to figure out what he can do to finish this fight once and for all. Gomah's power forces all of the other characters into sort of a vortex where they're completely helpless. However, he's unaware that Majin Ku is slowly floating towards him from behind. The intelligent half of the Majin brothers, still holding on to that big book of spells from Aransu, quickly realizes that he's the one who's in the best position to make a move right now. So Ku takes the big spell book and swings it 1, 2, 3. The evil eye pops out of Gomah and he shrinks back down to his previous smaller form. Now look, I've been a big fan of the Majin brothers. I don't know what I was really expecting to happen to them in this show, but I would have never have guessed that it would be Ku who took Gomah down in the end. But it does make a lot of sense. He's probably the most intelligent character out of anyone in the show right now, and that would include Bulma and the Supreme Kai. The third eye falls down to the ground and lands at Glorio's feet, and to make sure that this fight is truly over for good, he just steps on it. And that's all, folks. The third eye has been disintegrated under the weight of Glorio's boot, and Gomah has returned to the size of a Funko Pop. To make the moment even better, Ku lands and he's just so proud of himself, he's so happy, and everyone's just kind of stunned and they don't know what to say. He even questions them on it a little bit, going like, why can't I be the one to finish the fight? I can finish fights too! But it turns out that all the characters are actually quite proud of Majin Ku's quick thinking. Ever since he was introduced into the show, we've seen him sort of just take a more humble approach to how he was helping Aransu and his brother get the Dragon Balls so she could make her wish. When he couldn't beat Tamagami number 1, he very humbly accepted his loss and even went so far as to apologize to Aransu for losing, while also offering other things that he could do to help her instead of just fighting. Then, when Majin Buu was created and made to fight the Tamagami, it was Ku's idea to go run and buy some chocolate so that Buu could have a quick power-up. And then of course it was Ku who was actually the one to solve the math problem so that Majin Buu could claim the Dragon Ball. But through all of that, Aransu never really appreciated what Ku brought to their group. She never really thanked him for going to the store and buying chocolate for Buu. She never acknowledged that he was the one to give Buu the answer to the Tamagami's math question. She may not have even known he did that. But finally, Ku's quick thinking and his intelligence finally gets him the respect that he deserves, and even Aransu herself sort of elbows him in the side to let him know, good job, buddy. So now it's punishment time for Gomah, who has been captured and is unable to escape, and it's been decided that he must repent for his sins by being sealed away in a bottle for 100 years. But Piccolo decides to be a little merciful here because Gomah never actually tried to kill Dende. It's then decided that Gomah's 100-year sentence will be reduced down to only 99 years instead. And then to make things just a little bit easier for him, they're gonna seal Degasu away with him too, just so he'll have somebody to spend those 99 years with. Aransu and Marba then use a spell that's very reminiscent of the Mafuba to finally lock Gomah and Degasu away. That problem is now solved. At least for now. Will we ever see Gomah and Degasu again? Who knows? But I guess they're there now in case they ever want to do something with these characters again. But now we have a new problem. Who's gonna be the new Supreme Demon King? Shin actually suggests that Aransu should take over, saying that he somehow has seen a sliver of goodness deep down in her soul? What is this guy talking about? Like 2 or 3 episodes ago, you were saying that she was a disappointment because she wanted to just make the demon realm way scarier than it's ever been. But ultimately it doesn't matter because she decides to turn down the job, citing that without being able to wish for ultimate power from the Dragon Balls, anybody could just come in and overthrow her at any time. That's where Neva suggests that whoever is the one to defeat the Supreme Demon King should be the one to take their place. Now, who defeated Gomah? Yep, Majin Buu. The new Supreme Demon King of the Demon Realm is King Majin Buu. And he immediately accepts the role. He's actually quite happy to be the Supreme Demon King, and immediately starts assigning people minister positions because of the different attributes that they've shown throughout this entire adventure. He makes Aransu the Vice Supreme Demon King because he says he can see something down in her too that's not all that evil, plus she's really smart and has powerful magic, and she made him, so he's gotta give her something. Majin Buu, Glorio, Neva, Marba, and even King Cotton are all appointed to be ministers of Ku's new administration. There's a pretty funny part here where Ku decides to just ask if anybody else wants to be a minister while he's appointing people, and Hybus is in the background raising his hand shouting, "Me, yes, I want to," and Ku never hears him and he never gets that position. And with all the minister positions filled, Ku announces that it's time to get to work, and now there's a small crowd that has sort of formed to hear the new Supreme Demon King speak, and it's actually got Neva thinking that he might actually be really good for this job. Ku then promises Aransu that they will make the demon realm a scary but good place to live, and Piccolo seems to approve of that message, though that does seem kind of conflicting because would you really call a place that's scary a good place to live? I don't know, maybe it's a Majin thing. Then we cut to everybody getting ready to send the Earthlings back home. Bulma gets some Majin Light to take back to Capsule Corp, and Majin Buu decides to actually give Shin some chocolate chip cookies that Shin says thank you for, but he can't really eat those. Then we get a pretty funny exchange between Vegeta and Goku because Vegeta is really sore that he wasn't the one to get to finish Gomah off. But it's here that we learn that Goku wasn't just gifted this form from Neva, he actually had it the entire time. Seems that after the fight with Kid Buu, Goku decided to just keep training so he could get stronger, and that's how he found Super Saiyan 4, though he does say he wasn't sure if it would be able to work, though I'm not sure if that meant he wasn't sure if that form actually existed because he hadn't tried to reach it yet, or if he didn't know if his body would be able to sustain the transformation. Then Vegeta recycles his classic Super Saiyan Bargain Sale line, and Goku quickly points out that he too kept a form secret from everybody, his Super Saiyan 3 transformation. But Vegeta gets really defensive and insists that that was not Super Saiyan 3, it was actually Ultra Vegeta 1! That's such a really funny and unexpected callback to when he called himself Super Vegeta when he was fighting his semi-perfect Cell. Like, the video games have referred to that form as Super Vegeta because otherwise the transformation is just Saiyan Ascended or Ascended Super Saiyan or something like that. Then there's a nice quick little moment between Neva, Piccolo, and Dende where Neva asks them if they would like to stay in the Demon Realm. Dende declines, of course, because he has his duties as the God of Earth to protect it and oversee it, though he does say that he will tell the Nomad Namecs that have nowhere to go after Frieza destroyed planet Namek that he will suggest they come back down here. That's weird though because New Namek is a thing. I think that's where most of the Namecs went after the Frieza arc ended, because Goku goes to New Namek during the Cell Saga to go get Dende so he can become the new god of the Earth and so they can restore the Dragon Balls. And they even got back in touch with the Namecs to use Porunga to help defeat Kid Buu later on. I mean, if Paragus, Broly, and Tarbell all survived Planet Vegeta's destruction, then there can be a handful of Namecs somewhere around Universe 7 that we don't know about yet. Ponzi and King Cotton then thank Goku for all he's done for the Demon Realm. Even just having the tunnel open again is allowing the heavy air of the third demon world to be cleansed a little bit from the clean air of the second and first worlds. Now flying's not so difficult, they'll be able to move around a lot more, and the citizens of all three worlds seem to be getting along much better now. Then as the plane carrying Goku and all of his friends starts to take off and make for the Earth, Majin Buu makes sure to let them know that if things ever get really bad again, that they are free to come down and help them out once more. Now everybody's just waving bye to each other, and there's a really funny moment where Vegeta is just completely emotionally spent. He's still mad, he doesn't care anymore, but Ponzi grabs his arm and is waving it for him. It's a really funny moment. Then the credits roll and we get some nice artwork of all of the characters on Earth returning to their normal ages. There's some art showing Master Roshi being pretty bummed out that he's an old man again, and another piece where Chi-Chi is shown to have been washing dishes at the time that she regained her adulthood, and it's really funny to see her just surprised up on top of the step stool like that. Then there's a few pictures of Gomah and Degasu down in their bottle prison, one where they're playing video games against each other, and then there's one of Gomah sitting in a chair looking just completely miserable. And that's where Dragon Ball Daima ends. Not! We've got a post-credit scene, and it's a lot of fun. Goku tells Glorio and Ponzi that they're running low on senzu beans back on Earth, so he wants to stop by the Medibug shop again and pick up some of those bugs that basically do the same thing the senzu do. And once Bulma gets an eyeful of the bugs, she is just completely disgusted. She doesn't know how anybody could eat a bug. But of course, once the shopkeeper explains that people do eat them because they work, and that there's a bug called the Butte bug that will make your skin look 10 years younger, Bulma buys their entire inventory. Then we see Ponzi sort of nosing around towards the back a little bit, and she picks up a really dusty jar and blows the dust off. And what she sees in the jar completely stuns her. Ponzi has stumbled across a jar with 2 evil third eyes in it. And the shopkeeper lady is just completely casual about the whole thing. She says that she had 3 of them and then somebody bought one a long time ago, but these others haven't sold because they're just kind of sketchy in general and they're very expensive, but she does offer to give Goku and his buddies a discount if they want to buy one. Everyone is just in complete and utter disbelief that they have stumbled across two more of these sources of ultimate power, and that's where the show ends. That has got to be one of the biggest trolls I've ever seen a show do, to reveal that this ultimate source of power that these characters have all been fighting against could just be picked up in a random dinky little shop in the middle of nowhere. To end this show this way is pure Toriyama, and it's hilarious. This was a really good episode and a great way to end this series. Super Saiyan 4, I think, now complicates the canon because I think they're going to go with Daima being its own separate timeline, the same way that GT and Super aren't canon to one another. We got Majin Ku being crowned the new Supreme Demon King, a move that I don't think anybody was predicting. And the fight between Goku and Gomah looked phenomenal. Again, if you're a big fan of the super exciting fights from Dragon Ball Super, you're gonna love this one. What did you guys think though? How did you feel about the big finale for Dragon Ball Daima? Are you happy that Majin Ku got the big win in this series, or would you have rathered somebody else take the W? Would you like to see more of the Demon Realm and all of its characters in a future storyline? Thanks for watching this video, I really appreciate it. If you want to support my channel, then be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Now, I'm going to swear allegiance to King Ku, because if we've got to live under a monarchy in the Demon Realm, at least this guy seems to know what he's doing.